What a weird way to kick in the new year. I've never done this before. Talk about really anything regarding my life and regarding feelings and stuff. Because that's hard, you know? It's hard. Nobody really wants to talk about stuff like this in public, you know? It's kind of a taboo thing. I can understand it. I've avoided this all my life. This discussion, talking about what's been going on and what's been on my mind. And I was just sitting here, just like wallowing in self-pity. And I just realized, like, as of recently, I only just felt increasingly more lonely. And I didn't know why, you know? I really didn't. And just thinking about it, I learned why. You know, love is a weird thing. It can come in a lot of different forms, but it's incredibly difficult to pick up on them, you know? People care. People do care about me. People do care about my existence. And yet somehow I managed to convince myself that their love isn't enough, you know? Which obviously, you know, it's not true. But even then, even though I know it's not true, I still have this primal yearn for a deeper connection. I recently have just been feeling very undervalued and underappreciated, and even though I know it's not true, but since there's just been such a lack of positive feedback recently, it just hurts to think about. Like, why do I need that? Why do I need a constant stream of positive feedback? Like, is it because of my ADHD that I really need that like dopamine hit, you know? And the easiest way to get that is to like get positive feedback, you know, like being praised for things. Even that sometimes just feels hollow, you know? It just doesn't feel like people actually mean it, you know? Like, people at work tell me, wow, you're so fast, you're so good at this, you're so this and that and that. And it just, you know, goes over my head. I know they mean it, and I know it's true. I just don't know why, but I just don't accept it. I just don't. I've been listening to this one Persona song a lot more recently, and I thought it was just because it was, you know, a good sounding song. I mean, it is, don't get me wrong. It is a very good sounding song, and it's very soothing, but I kept circling back to a certain part again and again and asking myself, why do I continue to listen to this over and over again? And as I was analyzing the lyrics, there was this one lyric that goes, I wanna hear all the good and bad news stories you had. I think just like hearing those words just makes me feel seen, you know? As silly as it sounds, it just does. I understand that nobody can devote a good amount of their time listening to me ramble, because I like to ramble. I love to ramble, and that's okay, you know? Like, I understand that people are busy, and not everybody wants to listen to some random ass 21-year-old who has an obsession with whatever, you know? It's like, I understand that. I completely understand it, but it takes me back to a time when somebody did, you know? When somebody did care that much. So now I'm just like left with this stinging pain in my heart. As much as it sounds like a cliche, I literally have like a stinging pain in my heart. This stinging pain just yearns for connection without fear of annoyance or guilt of wasting somebody's time. Everything's just felt cold and meaningless. Despite me doing like so much for myself, like I have made so much progress in terms of self-care, self-preservation, mentality-wise. I've been doing so well, but yet somehow I just feel even lonelier than before, if that makes sense. Despite me being surrounded by people who love and care about me, it's not been easy. I'm tired of distracting myself from the truth, this truth, that I'm just legitimately just desperate at this point for genuine human connection. I really do just want someone to hear me out, to remember the small details in little things that I do, to be excited for things that I create or am working on, but I already feel like I'm asking for way too much. So that's why I'm making this video, why I'm talking about it, because I know I'm not alone. I've been through this before. You know, all this on top of the fact that my DS. Yeah, so about that, I don't know if you guys remember my DS repair video that I was really upset about. I was really upset about that. And this in the video, at the very end of the video, I was literally on the verge of tears. Like, I was crying before I recorded that bit, and I had to like get myself back into a shape that looked more normal, and I was just afraid, you know? I was afraid to put out my my raw emotions out there. I'm not afraid anymore. I don't have anything I don't have anything left to lose. I'm not afraid of this. But yeah, I was talking about my DS and I got distracted. So I decided I was gonna go back into my DS and try this new trick that I learned from actually one of the commenters. So thank you for suggesting that. And I did do what they said, and it was the tape stacking method. Basically, you stack a bunch of duct tape all the way up to the back of the casing of the DS. So when the casing closes, it pressures on all of the tape and creates a consistent pressure so that the DS stays on. But while I was doing the tape stacking method, and I was constantly taking off and putting back on the back shell of the DS, I had completely forgotten to take the SD card out, and one of the times that I put the back shell on, it snapped a piece of the SD card off. And despite the fact that the SD card damage was quite minimal, like it was just the back corner, it just didn't read anymore. So it didn't even matter if I had fixed the problem with my DS. I had just lost all of the data that I had on that SD card. Luckily, it was just my modded data and not my childhood data, but it was still data nonetheless, and all that progress that I made was just gone like that. And I genuinely wanted to like punch a wall or something, because I was so incredibly frustrated with myself and everything. I gave up, and there wasn't a point anymore. It just felt meaningless. I know that it wasn't terribly difficult to mod the thing, and all of that progress that I made, it was just mostly one game that I really cared about, but that just sent me into a depressive frenzy for that night, and I couldn't take it anymore. I genuinely just wanted to be done with everything. That was like the straw that broke the camel's back, basically. And that's why I didn't post a video last week. I don't normally like to apologize for not posting, because sometimes life just catches up to me and I get too preoccupied doing a lot of different things, and I shouldn't have to apologize for not posting because of life, you know? Stuff happens. I did want to post something last week. I really did. I was just in such an awful state. On top of the holidays just kind of being a lot more depressing than usual, it just felt so meaningless and forced. There was also a bit of family drama and friend drama that I got caught up in that also just didn't help. Of course, it wasn't their fault, but it just added more to the boiling pot. It's been a rough couple of months. I just hope you guys know that if you're struggling from the same thing, that you're not alone. You mean a lot to me, because you're a soldier. You're stronger than you think you are. I believe in you. It only goes up from here. The best part about hitting rock bottom is that there really is no other way to go but up. I look forward to that. In the meantime, though, I hope you guys enjoy my videos. I really want to thank you if you've listened this far, and I really appreciate it. Hope you guys know that you're not alone. All right. Peace.